greatest lie humanity tells itself is that we have outgrown human sacrifice. We call it by different names now and make our offering to different gods. We offer young men we call soldiers, as if the designation means that their mothers cry less when they die. We call masses of humanity collateral damage and turn our eyes away from the pictures of their lifeless bodies as we sip our morning coffee. And the truth is, we don't do it because we are heartless. We do it because we believe that it is necessary for the world to keep running. We do it because we believe that the gods whose favor we so desperately seek, freedom, security, prosperity, flourishing, that they demand blood as the price of their favor.
Oh, buddy. Well, that is not surprising, but it is surprising to hear them say it it's some kind of a synagogue. It's, I guess, a liberal synagogue, mostly Ashkenazi individuals. I'm noticing that all their beanie caps are white. Isn't it odd that when they're walking around outside of the synagogue, they got a black one on usually? I find that strange. They almost always wear the black one. Evidently, they have a choice. Everybody knows what the symbolism of white and black would be. But, I'm not even sure how they keep that on. I can understand how the woman keeps it on. She's got it pinned. But the rabbi next to her. And by the way, she's a woman rabbi, which is not even lawful according to the Torah. They don't really care. These Ashkenazi individuals that have these more progressive synagogues, they really don't care about the Torah. As you saw, she says, we're worshiping another deity now, right? And he demands sacrifice. Well, their old deity did too. They're just trying to pull a big one over your eyes there. But anyway, I just thought I'd let you know, show you guys what these guys are saying. I think tomorrow might be the big day. I really think that perhaps we're going to go into war. I guess they already declared war on Venezuela. So things are about to pop. And by the way, all this is going on, and here comes a spaceship. Oh, 3i Atlas is coming, right? And remember old Elena Dinan, who's, takes trips on the Galactic Federation. She's married to Thor, knows Inky, Iya, right? She's even calling him Iya now. She used to call him Inky. Iya Inky, she's his best friend, and she was on the shuttle with him, right? And they went to go see the 3i Atlas, and she's just going to report on what the Federation wants you to know. We're not saved in Jesus' blood, we're saved in Inky's blood. Watch this.
We are today, October 4th, 2025. I was taken last night, invited by my old friend Ia to see up close the interstellar object 3i Atlas. It's currently 30 million kilometers from the surface of Mars. Prince Ia has diplomatic immunity and clearance for pretty much everywhere in this galaxy. Mars is not as red as you are shown by NASA. There is more and more green patches growing, and there is an atmosphere that is breathable with a little apparatus that allow humans of Earth to really adapt. There is a terraforming going on. I was very excited to approach the surface of Mars, and we had to go through a clearance. We arrived at Jen Han's dwelling on Mars. So after a short conversation, we all got back to Ia's shuttle. We took off and went to meet about the trajectory of 3i Atlas. Beyond exciting. And when we arrived closer, we could really see the elongated shape. It is not pointing at the sun as all comets do. So it was not doing like every comet's like this. And any comets would do that. 3i Atlas does that. It's a ship, of course. It is called an explorer, and it is a plasmic consciousness inhabited an empty vessel, which is a rock carved, that could welcome a crew, but it is so old that no crew has ever been there for billions of years. It is older than this star system. These plasmic consciousnesses that are out of time, out of linear time, are exploring the galaxy and other galaxies. They also travel into intergalactic medium to gain information and enrich themselves.
Well, that's the news from the world of insanity. This is one of their prophets. She's the one who announced the thingy. She said that it was a program by Inky. We're all going to get saved in his blood. So she's up there flying around on Atlas 3I or something now in a shuttle with Inky, and she's married to Thor or something. I don't know how she had time to zip out there and back by morning. But don't you worry, she's got you covered, and she's got all the information you need. Man, these clinically insane individuals that are standing there all dressed up like, I don't know, in some gown, with her mascara on and her, I don't know, it's acting. It's such hypocrisy to see most human beings when they get up, they're just talking as an act. They don't even believe themselves, right? What is it that everybody in this world has gotten to the point where we're not genuine? I mean, these guys have literally made it so that it isn't even kosher, right? To be genuine. Like, you would probably be laughed right out of town if you spoke genuine words, right? If you just spoke your heart. And obviously, this woman doesn't believe that she just went on a journey to 3I Atlas. She's lying. That kind of a person that can lie, that big a lie, for months and years on the YouTube, pretending this insanity. I don't know what Jesus will do with her when he returns. I have no idea, but I guess she's an atheist if she doesn't fear the consequences of her actions. But anyway, that's not why we're here today. Of course, this is part 2 of what we were talking about yesterday, and I'm going to go through some verses in the book of Psalms. It's going to blow your mind. What will you do with these verses? Let me show you. We'll start here, where we left off. It says, Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? Why is it a holy hill or a mountain? Couldn't it just be what it says? Maybe there is a holy hill, a holy mountain. And who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Is there a tabernacle there? Or is this talking about at the time of the end, there will be a tabernacle, a place of refuge in a mountain, a holy hill, directly north and beyond the pole from where David was living, which I think was Egypt. He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness and speaketh the truth in his heart. He that backbiteth not with his tongue. Okay, so the good people, all the righteous of the world in the day of judgment are going to take refuge in a tabernacle in his holy mountain that he makes as a refuge. But not only that, wherever this place is, Jesus went there after he died. Let me show you something. Now, there's a lot of different verses that I'm going to show you that basically says what I'm trying to tell you. Here's one of them. The next chapter, chapter 16, we just read 15. David, preserve me, O deity, for in thee do I put my trust. Now, you got to keep in mind that we're not far from chapter 22 of Psalms, where David, almost in the first person, says, I was crucified, and they threw lots over my garment, divided my garments, they put a spear in my side, and I died on a cross. Okay? It's as if David is saying it happened to him. I don't know if it's saying that David was an incarnation of Jesus. As I said, everything in the book of Psalms seems to be discussing what happened to Jesus 2,000 years ago, or some other. Most of the book of Psalms is about what happens to David, apparently, in the latter days. And one of the things is his great judgment. And so it does seem like the king comes from his holy habitation from the north at the day of judgment. But go back 2,000 years when he was crucified. It covers that too, chapter 22. And there's all this talk about how after Jesus dies, it says he does not see corruption. Remember the Quran that says Jesus didn't really die? Well, that's what the Bible teaches. It says, I will not see corruption in hell. I will not go into the grave and decay. But I'm going to conquer death. I'm going to be alive. I'm going to raise my body up. It's not going to die. So he says, preserve me, O deity, for in thee do I put my trust. O my soul, thou hast said unto the Lord, thou art my Lord, my goodness extendeth not to thee. So this is Jesus evidently talking to his Father in heaven. When? When is he saying, O my soul, thou hast said unto the Lord, thou art my Lord? He's talking just as he's on the earth there 2,000 years ago, getting ready to go to the cross. Right? He's getting ready to go to chapter 22 of Psalms, where he describes being crucified. He says, but to the saints that are in the earth, and to the excellent, in whom is all my delight, their sorrow shall be multiplied that hasten after another deity. Their drink offerings of blood will I not offer, nor take up their names into my lips, Jesus says. David is saying it, but he's as if he's Jesus. David, or aka Jesus, says, the Lord is the portion of mine inheritance, and of my cup thou maintainest my lot. The lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places. Ye, I have a goodly heritage. What? I will bless the Lord who hath given me counsel. My reins also instruct me in my night seasons. I guess while he was praying in the woods during the night. I have set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand. I shall not be moved. He's not planning on dying. I'm going to conquer this, death included. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoiceth. My flesh also shall rest in hope. For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell. Remember, he was in hell 3 days. But he says, you're not going to leave me there. Neither wilt thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption. That's the word decay, corruption. Jesus says, I'm not going to die. I might be in the grave with a stone rolled over it for 3 days. But there's not going to be any worms in my body eating my flesh. I'm not going to decay. Right? Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. So now is he saying, oh, I'm going to go to this place that's ethereal. In thy presence, somewhere in the sky, with this big rock man sitting on a throne. No, this is not a parable. There is a divine presence that Jesus went to. Where is it? It's not beyond our solar system, guys, on another planet. He didn't go there in a spaceship. Now let's keep going. I can't read everything here. We haven't got time. But the next chapter, starting with verse 8. Keep me as the apple of the eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings. Okay, obviously a little symbolic, because I guess the father of the world doesn't have wings. From the wickedness that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who compass me about. These were the Jewish people that were about to kill him. They are enclosed in their own fat. With their mouth they speak proudly. They have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth, like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in the secret places. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So Jesus wasn't saying, yeah, I'm going to die here. He's saying, no, deliver me, save me. You will not let your loyal one see corruption and decay. I'm going to conquer this. From men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babies. As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. When I awake with thy likeness. Now, I had always interpreted that, and I think most Christians, that he died. He literally died, but he says he's not going to see corruption. We saw him 3 days later. He's walking around, touch me, see the prints where they nailed me. This is my body. Well, okay, so he didn't die. So why are we interpreting this that he went and beheld the face of deity in some ethereal nowhere place? Just mental, but no physical. No, he was not on the earth no more in this physical manifestation of the divine mind. He was just in the divine. He was gone. He was dead, and he's going to be there for 2,000 years as just a spirit. He's just a spirit. And then at the end of time, he comes back in a body or an ethereal body or what? Where is Jesus? Well, he woke up from this sleep. That doesn't mean he was dead. He woke up in this cave with his likeness, with the Father's likeness. Why? Because he was changed. He had no more blood. He had flesh and bones. Let's continue. Next chapter, verse 3, I will call upon the Lord who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies. I'm not going to die. I'm going to be saved. The sorrows of death compassed me. Yeah, he was on the cross. They were killing him. He was bleeding out. Then they took him down, put him in a cave, wrapped him in bandages. The sorrows of death compassed me, and the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. He was sweating blood, remember? The sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death prevented me. In my distress, he's not dead yet, right? He's still in that tomb. I cried unto my deity, and he heard my voice out of his temple, and my cry came before him, even into his ears. So somehow he could communicate with his mind to his Lord, his deity. And then it says the earth shook and trembled, and the foundations also of the hills moved, and they were shaken because he was wroth. What? Did that actually happen? Yeah. Go read the story in Luke or Matthew or John. It says when Jesus died, there was an earthquake. The earth shook. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils and fire out of his mouth. Devoured coals were kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. Now, the Lord's not darkness. The Lord's not darkness. That higher mind. But the place that Jesus was in as he was dying was darkness, the death, the mortality. And the divine being descended into this darkness. Why? Not because he loved darkness, but because he wanted to defeat it. And he rode who? The Father? Rode upon a cherub. He did fly, he did fly upon the wings of the wind. He did fly upon the wings of the wind. Okay. Is this in his astral body? We don't know, but let's go on. He made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. At the brightness that was before him, his thick clouds passed. Hailstones and coals of fire. The Lord also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave his voice. Hailstones and coals of fire. He sent out his arrows and scattered them. and he shot out lightnings and discomfited them. Then the channels of waters were seen. What channels of waters? And the foundations of the world were discovered at thy rebuke. O Lord, at the blast of the breath of thy nostrils. He sent from above, he took me, he drew me out of many waters. Huh? The oceans? He came and got him, and he brought him through the waters. He delivered me from my strong enemy and from them which hated me, for they were too strong for me. Jesus said they were too strong for me. I was a mortal man. They crucified me. They put me in a grave. But some angel came and opened up rolled the rock away and grabbed me and took me through these beautiful waters and through the sky. They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my stay. And the Lord, or he, brought me forth also into a large place. A large place? What is this place? He delivered me because he delighted in me. The Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness. According to the cleanness of my hands hath he recompensed me. For I have kept the ways of the Lord, and have not wickedly departed from my deity. For all his judgments were before me, and I did not put away his statutes before me, which is love. I was also upright before him, and I kept myself from mine iniquity. Therefore hath the Lord recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands in his eyesight. With the merciful thou wilt show thyself merciful. With an upright man thou wilt show thyself upright. With the pure thou wilt show thyself pure, and with the froward thou wilt show thyself froward. For thou wilt save the afflicted people, but will bring down high looks. For thou wilt light my candle, the Lord my deity will enlighten my darkness. For by thee I have run through a troop, an army, and by my deity have I leaped over a wall. As for deity, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust in him. For who is deity save the Lord? Or who is a rock save our deity? It is deity that girdeth me with strength and maketh my way perfect. He maketh my feet like the hind's feet. What? Jesus had feet like a deer? Like an antelope? I mean, what, swift? I thought he was dying, and no, the Lord gave him strength like a deer. He bounced out of there. And he setteth me upon a high place, or high places. He teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken by mine arms. Wow, that's a lot of strength. And obviously, we're not talking about a literal war. Yes, there's a lot of symbology here. My question is what does it symbolize? Did Jesus go to an ethereal nowhere? Did he go to another planet? Was he whisked away on a ship? Or did he go to the place beautiful for situation, the glory of all the earth, the tabernacle, the temple, the holy place, the place of refuge, where the Lord dwells, beyond the North Pole, on an infinite plain? Thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation, and thy right hand hath holden me up, and my gentleness hath made me great. Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, that my feet did not slip. Okay, he didn't die. His foot didn't slip. I have pursued my enemies, and I have overtaken them. Ha! He won! Oh my, what? Oh my God, what? Jesus wins? They don't kill him? They took him out of deep waters, in through the sky, to a place, into a big room, and then they give him some kind of superhuman strength. Now he's like an immortal being, and now he can bust a steel bow over his knee. Neither did I turn again till they were all consumed. Well, this is obviously when he returns in battle to conquer his enemies. So in between the time that they took him and the time that he comes back, There must be a period of time. In fact, it's what it says in the book of Psalms. You keep reading the whole story about Jesus dying 2,000 years or going to this place, at the North Pole, beyond the North Pole. And then at some point, he sits at his right hand, waiting for his enemies to be made a stool for his feet. And then he comes back. Where'd he go? He's a physical being. He raised up his body. He didn't die. He didn't see corruption. He didn't go to another planet. I have wounded them that they were not able to rise. Huh? Jesus? Well, David did this, right? He killed Goliath. But whatever David's doing, it's a symbol of what Jesus is going to do. Maybe in another lifetime it was Jesus, or maybe he's, there's a little bit of, I haven't quite figured out whether David is saying that, where David says, the Lord said to my Lord, sit thou at my right hand. Remember, the Pharisees and the scribes were there, and Jesus said, whose son is he? Is the Messiah? Whose son is he? David said to my Lord, sit thou at my right hand. Who really is the Messiah's son? Is he David's son? Why does David say, the Lord said to my Lord? And is there three lords? David's a lord, and David has a lord, and he has a lord. Or is it that David is one of the lords? It's very difficult to determine. But one thing that this does tell us, even if we can't quite figure out what Jesus was insinuating, is that Jesus believed that you could go back and read this was written 1,000 years before Christ was on the earth. So David was 3,000 years ago. Christ was 2,000 years ago. So Jesus is looking at the Psalms, and he's saying, okay, did you read that, Pharisees? David is talking in the first person, and he says, my Lord said to my Lord, sit thou at my right hand. You're like, oh, that's not talking about David. Well, yeah, but it does say that David shall sit upon the throne forever and ever. I've installed my king upon Mount Zion. And it specifically says, I don't know how many different times in the book of Psalms and elsewhere, that David is that king. So it's interesting that Jesus tells the Pharisees, whose son is the Messiah? Is he David's son? Is he saying, well, he couldn't be David's son. David must represent somebody else. Or is he saying, oh, well, have you noticed he's David's son? Well, who does this make David? I mean, look, I don't know the answer to this, and I'm trying to find the answer to this. But this verse, along with the other one where Jesus says concerning Elias or Elijah, when he went with the widow of Zarephath and she fed him, and Jesus looked at the Pharisees and says, were there no widows in Israel? He had to go to Assyria to raise up her son? What is this? Do you even know what it's talking about? So when Jesus points out a verse, it means something very important. I'll go into that deeper, that particular line about whose son is the Messiah. Is he David's son? In another video. But let's go on what we're talking about here. But it does seem like David is recounting all of this in the latter days, either as someone who is looking to Jesus as his deity, which is it looks that way in very many places, or he is Jesus looking to his Father. It's difficult to find this balance here, but he goes on to say, for thou hast girded me with strength unto the battle. Thou hast subdued under me those that rose up against me. And I guess that's what he's going to do when he comes back. And you'll see that as it goes. Thou hast also given me the necks of mine enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. Oh, buddy, I thought Jesus was a sweet guy that never hurt any. Well, he is. This is symbolic. He's destroying death. He's destroying this carnal place and this fear and this earthly corrupted body and this wicked world that we're living in. He destroys them that hate him. They cried, but there was none to save them. Ha ha! Even the Lord, but he answered them not. Then did I beat them small as the dust before the wind. I did cast them out as the dirt in the streets. Thou hast delivered me from the strivings of the people. Thou hast made me the head of the heathen. Huh? Jesus is now the head of the nations, the head of the pagans. A people whom I have not known shall serve me. As soon as they hear of me, they shall obey me. The strangers shall submit themselves unto me, the nations. The nations or the strangers shall fade away and be afraid out of their close places. The Lord liveth, and blessed be my rock, and let the deity of my salvation be exalted. It is deity that avengeth me, and subdueth the people under me. I do not believe, friends, that Jesus died. I don't believe he died. I believe he raised up his body in 3 days, and it did not see corruption and decay. I believe he overcame death. He delivers me from mine enemies. Yea, thou liftest me up above those that rise up against me. Thou hast delivered me from the violent man. Therefore will I give thanks unto thee, O Lord, among the nations, the heathen. And I will sing praises unto thy name. Great deliverance giveth he to his king, and showed mercy to his anointed, to David, and to his seed evermore. So here, this king is David, and he experiences all of this as the grand king. And he takes his sword and he defeats Goliath and all of the enemies. But this is something that is either symbolic or a type of what Jesus would do at some point, and we'll see when that is here. Look at chapter 20. The Lord hear thee in the day of trouble. Now, this is the great tribulation, because he's going to come back in the great tribulation and defeat all of his enemies. The name of the deity of Jacob defend thee. Send thee help from the sanctuary. From the sanctuary. Well, David probably had a temple there that he's talking about. And there may have been a hill that some people think was Zion. But this is not the Zion that we're talking about, because this Zion is beautiful for situation, the glory of all the earth, in the remote, extreme part of the world, in the north, beyond the poles. You know, Shambhala, Agartha, some Abalon, or some amazing city, beautiful for situation. Go about, count her towers, look at all her bulwarks. Send thee help from the sanctuary, and strengthen thee out of Zion. Remember all thy offerings, and accept thy burnt sacrifice, which in the actual Hebrew this says, accept thy sacrifice, which doesn't, necessarily mean killing an animal. David makes it clear throughout the book of Psalms that the only sacrifice acceptable unto the Lord is a praising of the lips. Grant thee according to thine heart, and fulfill thy counsel. We will rejoice in thy salvation. In the name of our deity, we will set up our banners. The Lord fulfill all thy petitions. Now know I that the Lord saveth his anointed. He will hear him from his holy heaven with the saving strength of his right hand. You think Jesus really died and was defeated in hell? He was not defeated in hell. He rose from that place alive. He never died, and he never saw corruption. He won. And the Lord will hear him from his holy heaven, or the height, with the saving strength of his right hand. Some trust in chariots and some horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord our deity. They are brought down and fallen, but we are risen and stand upright. See, his enemies, the Jewish Sanhedrin, they have been brought down, but we are risen and stand upright. Who's we? Jesus and the saints. Save, Lord, let the King hear us when we call. Guys, if you don't think that what I'm saying is true, just keep listening. It says, this is a Psalm of David, the king shall joy in thy strength, O Lord, stand in salvation, how greatly shall he rejoice. Thou hast given him his heart's desire, and hast not withholden the request of his lips. For thou preventest him with the blessings of goodness. Thou settest a crown of pure gold on his head. He asked life of thee, and you killed him. No, Jesus said, I want life, Lord. We all said, we want life, Lord. And he gave us it him. He gave us it him. even length of days, forever and ever. And he gave it him. His glory is great, and thy salvation, honor, and majesty hast thou laid upon him. For thou hast made him most blessed forever. Thou hast made him exceedingly glad with countenance. For the king trusteth in the Lord, and through the mercy of the Most High he shall not be moved. Thine hand shall find out all thine enemies. Thy right hand shall find out those that hate thee. Thou shalt make them as a fiery oven in the time of thine anger. O Lord shall swallow them up in his wrath, and the fire shall devour them. Their fruit shall thou destroy from the earth, their seed from among the children of men. For they intended evil against thee. They imagined a mischievous device which they are not able to perform. Therefore they're not going to be able to kill us, guys. This great tribulation is not for us, it's for them. Therefore shalt thou make them turn their back when thou shalt make ready thine arrows upon thy strings against the face of them. Be thou exalted, O Lord, in thine own strength. So will we sing and praise thy power. Oh, buddy. Let me show you something real quick before we go on here. Look at Isaiah 52, verse 13 through 15. Behold, my servant shall deal prudently. He shall be exalted and extolled and be very high. As many were astonished at thee, his visage was so marred more than any man, and his form more than the sons of men. You know, they beat him with that whip, and they crucified him. They spit on him, and they pierced his side. So shall he sprinkle many nations. The kings shall shut their mouths at him. For that which had not been told them shall they see, and that which they had not heard shall they consider. What is it that they didn't know? Look at the next verse. This is the famous Isaiah 53. Who hath believed our report, and to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He hath no form or comeliness, that when we shall see him there is no beauty that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, and we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. We did esteem him stricken, smitten of deity, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we were healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned away, one to his own way, and the Lord hath laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before the shearers is dumb, so he openeth not his mouth. He was taken from the prison and from judgment, and who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off out of the land of the living, for the transgression of my people was he stricken. And he made his grave with the wicked, and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth. Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him, and he hath put him to grief. Then thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin. He shall see his seed. He shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. So he didn't die. Jesus saw his offspring, his seed. He had children with Mary Magdalene. And it says that he prolonged Jesus' days, and he prospered. He shall see of the travail of his soul, and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities. Therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he hath poured out his soul unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressors, and he bare the sin of many, and he made intercession for the transgressor. So we've always assumed that he died, and yet he raised up his body in 3 days, and it did not see corruption. So he poured out his soul unto the point of death. But it does say he shall see his children and he shall prolong his days. Now, let's go back to where we were reading there. Psalms 22. This is a very important verse. My deity, why hast thou forsaken me? Why art thou far from helping me and from the words of my roaring? Okay, isn't that what Jesus said on the cross? My deity, why hast thou forsaken me? Oh, my deity, I cry in the daytime, but thou hearest not. And in the night season, I am not silent, but thou art holy, O thou that inhabitest the praises of Israel. Our fathers trusted in thee, they trusted, and thou didst deliver them. They cried unto thee and were delivered. They trusted in thee and were not confounded. But I am a worm, and I am no man, a reproach among men, despised of the people. All they that see me laugh to scorn. They shoot out the lip. They shake their head, saying, Oh, he trusted in the Lord, that he would deliver him. Let him deliver him, seeing he delighteth in him. But thou art he that took me out of the womb, that didst make me hope when I was upon my mother's breasts. Oh, Mother Mary, the Virgin Mother. I was cast upon thee from the womb. Thou art my deity from my mother's belly. Be not far from me, for trouble is near, for there is none to help. Many bulls have compassed me, strong bulls of Bashan have beset me around. They gaped open with their mouths as a ravening of a roaring lion. I am poured out like water, and all my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax. It's melted in the midst of my bowels. Oh, he went through a lot, friends. My strength is dried up like a potsherd, and my tongue cleaveth to my jaws. And thou hast brought me into the dust of death. He's in the tomb now, wrapped in gauze. For dogs have compassed me, and the assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierced my hands and my feet. I may tell all my bones. They look and stare upon me. They part my garments among them, and cast lots upon my vesture. But be not thou far from me, O Lord. O my strength hast thee to help me. Deliver my soul from the sword, my darling from the power of the dog. What? Jesus is asking his heavenly Father to deliver his soul from the sword or the spear that pierced his side, and from all the dogs or the individuals running around like dogs that were panting for his death. Save me from the lion's mouth, for thou hast heard me from the horns of the unicorns. I will declare thy name unto my brethren. In the midst of the congregation will I praise thee. What congregation? Well, he's coming back from Mount Zion, beautiful for situation, the joy of all the earth in the remotest extreme parts of the north, and he's bringing with him the saints or the angels, same thing, on white horses. That's where the congregation is. Ye that fear the Lord, praise him. All ye the seed of Jacob, glorify him and fear him, all ye seed of Israel. For he hath not despised nor abhorred the affliction of the afflicted, neither hath he hid his face from him. But when he cried unto him, he heard. My praise shall be of thee in the great congregation. I will pay my vows before them that fear him. The meek shall eat and be satisfied. They shall praise the Lord and seek him. Your heart shall live forever. All the ends of the world shall remember and turn to the Lord, and all the kindreds of the nations shall worship before thee. For the kingdom is the Lord's, and he is the governor among the nations. And all they that be fat upon the earth shall eat and worship. All they that go down to the dust shall bow before him, and none can keep alive his own soul. A seed shall serve him. It shall be accounted to the Lord for a generation that is to come. And they shall come, and they shall declare his righteousness unto a people that shall be born, that he hath done this. There and he goes, he maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. This is directly after this verse where he dies on a cross. And he says, the Lord will deliver him. And then he says he's in a place where there's green pastures, beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness. What? This is talking about Jesus and all the saints. You prepare a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Oh, not in some faraway ethereal realm, another dimension? No, right there in the presence of his enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, including with my seed, my children. You will prosper me and Mary, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. What house? Where's the house of the Lord? It's in some ethereal nowhere? Or is it really at the north, the extremity of the earth? The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded it upon the seas and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord? Or who shall stand in the holy place? He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, who hath not lifted up his soul unto vanity nor sworn deceitfully. He shall receive the blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the deity of his salvation. This is the generation of them that seek him. That's our generation. He's going to take us in this place. We're going to stand on Mount Zion and play our 10-string harps. We're going to gain the victory over the beast and its image. This is the generation of them that seek him. Lift up your heads, O ye gates. What gate? And be ye lifted up, ye everlasting doors. For the King of glory shall come in. Who is the King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, ye gates, even lift them up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is the King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. I believe that is Jesus, the I am. And he's going to come through a gate. He's at this tabernacle, or this the hill of the Lord, Mount Zion. Look at chapter 26. I got to go real quick. We ain't got no more time. Lord, I have loved thy habitation of thy house, and the place where thy honor dwelleth. Gather not my soul with sinners, nor my life with the bloody men, in whose hands is mischief, and their right hand is full of bribes. But as for me, I will walk in mine integrity. Redeem me, and be merciful unto me. My foot standeth in an even place. In the congregations will I bless the Lord. So there's a congregation there. All the angels are there. All the saints. And he don't want to be gathered wherever the sinners go. But the righteous go to a habitation. The house of the Lord is where they dwelleth. But remember, Jesus had flesh and bones. A spirit doesn't have flesh and bones. This is not a spirit city. This is a real city where Jesus is physically alive and immortal and is coming to destroy the wicked in that same form that he has. And I don't believe he's going to use a sword. He's going to use the sword out of his mouth, the word of God. He's going to teach the world righteousness and conquer the darkness. I don't want to stop, but I mean, this video is going to be long, but I want to read the whole Psalms to you, but you got to understand, this is what's really going on. It says, the enemies, his foes came to eat his flesh. They stumbled and fell. They came to eat his flesh, or, symbolically to destroy Jesus. But he says they didn't do it. They lost. I won. They stumbled and fell. Though a host should camp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war should rise against me, in this will I be confident. One thing have I desired of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in his temple. Where is his temple? Is it some spiritual, ethereal realm? This is what you have to ask yourself. Did Jesus see corruption and died? Now he's a spirit floating around? No. He's just a ghost? No. He's a real person. Where is it? It's got to be in this infinite consciousness, this plane, but an immortal consciousness. A perfected being in a body that doesn't die. A flesh and bones, but not blood. And it must be somewhere. And why shouldn't it be where it says it is, at the north, beyond the North Pole? It says, one thing I have desired of the Lord to seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life. For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. Why is it a secret? Because the whole world doesn't know about wherever this place is. It's a secret. He's going to be hidden in this pavilion. Where is Jesus? Well, he's hidden. This is talking about Jesus and all the saints. And they're hidden in this secret place. In his pavilion is what it calls it. In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. His temple. He shall set me upon a rock. Where is it? It's a rock. And now mine head be lifted up above mine enemies. Round about thereof will I offer in his tabernacle sacrifices of animals? No, of joy. I will sing. Yea, I will sing praises of the Lord. Hear the Lord when I cry with my voice. Have mercy upon me and answer me. When thou saidst, seek ye my face, and my heart said unto thee, thy face, O Lord, I will seek. Hide not thy face from me. Put not thy servant away in anger. Thou hast been my help. Don't leave me. Don't forsake me, the deity of my salvation. When my father and my mother forsake me, the Lord will take me up. Now, remember, that could be saying when it says when. In Hebrew, that is maybe like a sarcastic thing. It's like, if, even if my father and mother should forsake me, my divine Father will take me up. Teach me thy ways, O Lord, because of the path. Deliver me, and do. So, what is all of this talking about? Next chapter, it says, unto thee I will cry, the Lord my rock. Do not be silent. I become like them that go down into the pit. Hear the voice of my supplications when I cry unto thee, when I lift up my hands toward thy holy oracle. Draw me not away with the wicked and with the workers of iniquity, which speak peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts. Give them according to their deeds and according to the wickedness of their endeavors. Give them after the work of their hands. Render to them their desert, because they regard not the works of the Lord, nor operation of his hands. He shall destroy them and not build them up. Blessed be the Lord, because he hath heard the voice of my supplications. The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusted in him, and I am helped. Therefore my heart greatly rejoiceth, and with my song I will praise him. The Lord is their strength, and he is the saving strength of his anointed. Save thy people and bless thine inheritance. Feed them. Lift them up forever. They're not going to die. Chapter 30, O Lord, my deity, I cried unto thee, and thou hast healed me. He did not decay in that grave, but he was healed. O Lord, thou hast brought up my soul from the grave. Thou hast kept me alive. He didn't die. It was a miracle. The Lord kept him alive, that I should not go down to the pit. He didn't go down into the pit. Sing unto the Lord, O ye saints of his, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness. For his anger endureth but a moment. In his favor is life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. And in my prosperity I said, I shall never be moved. Lord, by thy favor thou hast made my mountain to stand strong. Thou didst hide thy face, and I was troubled. I cried to the Lord, and unto the Lord I made supplication. What profit is there in my blood when I go down into the pit? Shall the dust praise thee? Shall it declare thy truth? Hear, O Lord, and have mercy upon the Lord. Be thou my helper. Thou hast turned for me my mourning into dancing. Jesus was dancing. Thou hast put off my sackcloth and girdeth me with gladness, to the end that my glory may sing praise to thee and not be silent. O Lord, my deity, I will give thanks unto thee forever. We've got all of chapter 31 that says everything we've been saying, but we can't just read every one of these. Psalms 43, judge me, O deity, and plead my cause against the ungodly. For thou art the deity of my strength. Why dost thou cast me off? Why go I mourning because of the oppression of the enemy? Oh, send out thy light and thy truth. Let them lead me. Let them bring me unto thy holy hill and to thy tabernacle. Where is the holy mountain of Zion? His tabernacle. Then will I go unto the altar of deity, unto my deity, my exceeding joy. Ye upon the harp will I praise thee, O deity, my deity. Remember the 144,000 playing on their harps on Mount Zion. Where's Mount Zion? Maybe they're at the base of Mount Zion. Maybe they're at the top of Mount Zion. Why art thou cast down, O my soul, and why art thou disquieted within me? Hope in deity, for I shall yet praise him, who is the health of my countenance and my deity. Look at this Psalms 45. Thy throne, O deity, is forever and ever. We read that in the New Testament. The Apostle Paul says that Jesus is alive forevermore. Where is he? Well, thy throne, O deity, is forever and ever. Thy scepter, thy kingdom is a right scepter. Thou lovest righteousness and hatest wickedness. Therefore, deity, thy deity, hath anointed with the oil of gladness above thy fellows, and thy garments smell of myrrh, aloes, and cassia out of the ivory palaces, whereby they have made thee glad. What ivory palaces? In heaven, some ethereal nothing? Just ghosts? King's daughters were among thy honorable women. Upon thy right hand did stand the queen in gold of Ophir. Who's the queen? Well, she stands right there by King David. Hearken, O daughter, and consider, and incline thine ear. Forget also thine own people and thy father's house. So shall the king greatly desire thy beauty, for he is thy Lord, and worship thou him. And the daughter of Tyre shall be there with a gift. Even the rich among the people shall entreat thy favor. The king's daughter is all glorious within. Her clothing is wrought of gold. She shall be brought unto the king in raiment of needlework. The virgins, her companions that follow her, shall be brought unto thee. With gladness and rejoicing shall they be brought. They shall enter into the king's palace. Where is the king's palace? Huh? Is this real? Is this all symbolic? Esoteric? Instead of thy fathers shall be thy children, whom thou makest princes in all the earth. Oh, that's symbolic. There isn't going to be an earth. There's not going to be any princes. And therefore, there's not going to be any divine mother in raiment of gold that shall marry the king. And this will be the great wedding, and all the children of the world will gather around. And I will make thy name to be remembered in all the generations. Therefore shall the people praise thee forever and ever. What? Okay, guys, look at this. Psalms 46. Deity is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. In the day of trouble, therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof. There is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of deity, the holy place of the tabernacle of the Most High. Deity is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. Deity shall help her at that right early. The heathen raged, and kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, and the earth melted. Huh? Peter says the earth's going to be burned up with fire. This ain't literal, is it? Huh? We're not going to be on the earth, Dave. We're going to be in heaven. Right? There's no paradise. Well, are there heathen? They're going to rage. The kingdoms were moved. Is that going to happen? When he uttereth his voice, the earth will melt. The Lord of hosts is with us. The deity of Jacob is our refuge. Come behold the works of the Lord, what desolations he hath made in the earth. Okay, that's the final judgment. He's coming back with the saints from this tabernacle. It says that there's a river, the streams whereof shall make the glad the city of deity. Where is this river? Where is this city? Well, in Revelation, it's coming down out of heaven to the earth. So it's not real, right? Well, maybe it's just what it says. There's a gate that's going to open, and the King of Glory shall come in. Maybe it means that there is an actual place on this infinite plane where we started, where our mother and father lived, where they're immortal, where Jesus is and all the saints. And now we're going to go into the world and make more kingdoms, right? Defeat the nations and conquer the world. It says, he maketh wars to cease unto the ends of the earth, and breaketh the bow, and cutteth the spear in sunder, and burneth the chariots in the fire. Be still and know that I am deity. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. Not in heaven, in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The deity of Jacob is our refuge. Woohoo! Then we go to Psalms 48. Deity is the Lord, and greatly to be praised in the city of our deity, in the mountain of his holiness. Beautiful for situation, the joy of all the earth is Mount Zion. On the extreme end, that's what the word side means. The other half, the other opposite extreme end of the north, the city of the great king. Okay, Mount Zion, it's the city of the great king. Deity is known in her palaces for a refuge, specifically for a refuge. For lo, the kings were assembled, and they passed by together. They saw it, and so they marveled. They were troubled and hasted away. Fear took a hold upon them there, and pain as of a woman in travail. Right? That woman in travail. Thou breakest the ships of Tarshish with an east wind. Oh, but this is all symbolic. He's not going to destroy the kingdoms of this world and bring in everlasting righteousness, David. Are you nuts? Well, if he is, then where is the refuge? Where is the city of our deity? Beautiful for situation, the glory of all the earth, in the remote extremity of the north. Deity will establish it forever. We have thought of thy loving kindness, O deity, in the midst of thy temple. According to thy name, O deity, so is thy praise unto the ends of the earth. Thy right hand is full of righteousness. Let Mount Zion rejoice. Let the daughters of Judah be glad because of thy judgments. Walk about Zion. Go round about her. Tell the towers thereof. She's got towers. Mark ye well her bulwarks. Consider her palaces, that ye may tell it to the generation following. For this deity is our deity forever and ever, and he will be our guide even unto death. I think I better just read this as maybe the last verse, because we're not going to have any more time here. I mean, we're so far over now, but look at this. It says, deity setteth the solitary in families. He bringeth out those which are bound with chains. But the rebellious dwell in a dry land. Oh, but this couldn't be literal, could it? O deity, when thou wentest forth before thy people, when thou didst march through the wilderness, the earth shook. The heavens also dropped at the presence of deity. Even Sinai was moved at the presence of deity, the deity of Israel. Thou, O deity, sendest a plentiful rain, whereby thou didst confirm thine inheritance when it was weary. Thy congregation hath dwelt therein, thou, O deity, hast prepared of thy goodness for the poor. The Lord gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it. So just before the end, the great tribulation, the day of judgment, the Lord gives his word, and there was a great company that published it. Kings of armies did flee apace, and she that tarried at home divided the spoil. Though ye have lain among the pots, and this is probably should be translated something like among the slaughtering of the animals. Yet shall ye be as the wings of a dove covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. What? Well, if we're going to the North Pole, maybe we need an airplane or something. Because though we are about to be slaughtered, we're going to go somewhere in something that's, it says a dove, but you could translate it a pigeon. They actually, even modern days, call airplanes, the fuselage is a pigeon. And it's covered with silver. And that word is actually not the color silver, but silver, the metal. This dove is going to be covered with metal. It's literally the metal that it's talking about. And the feathers, it doesn't say yellow gold. It says the feathers, or the outer covering of this winged thing, is going to be translucent covering, like a shining translucent covering. And notice this, when the Almighty scattered kings in it, it was white as snow in Salmon. That's supposed to be some mountain peak that we're not sure where it is. Maybe this is going to happen around December or November or when the snow starts falling. The hill of deity is as the hill of Bashan, and it's a high hill as the hill of Bashan. Bashan is the mountain range of Mount Hermon, and Mount Hermon is the highest mountain there where supposedly the angels fell. But there are a lot of allusions to this mountain. The storyline here is that there were giants in the land that they had to go conquer. But it was supposed to have been their land to start with. It's our Eden, right? Remember, the Nephilim came to the earth and took daughters and took over the land and basically threw us out. You know, Yahweh and his demon threw us out, cursed us. We had to go back in there and get rid of those demons and take our land back. This is literally the story explaining to you why there were even giants in the land to start with. So, this area, the Garden of Eden, Zion, Shambhala, for a long time before Jesus got there, was full of giants. Jesus went there and conquered the land. Guarantee it. And when he comes back, it's going to be a refuge for all the saints, for the 144,000, and the rest of mankind will go forward into the land of Sinai, even into Sinai, which is the lower mountain, down here, in this carnal world, and we'll make it a paradise too. Why leap ye high hills? This is the hill which the Lord desireth to dwell. Huh? So there's a lot of mountains in the world, but there's one mountain the Lord has chosen. And all the other mountains are like, oh, why aren't we chosen? And they're like, no, the Lord has chosen his own mountain. Ye, the Lord, will dwell in that mountain forever. The chariots of deity are 20,000, even thousands of angels. And the Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. So here we have chariots that are coming. We just got through saying they're going to look like birds with silver wings. Well, now they're chariots, and there's 20,000 of them. And they're bringing the myriads of angels. Christ is coming on horses, but yeah, there's some chariots with him. And all the myriads are the 144,000. And if you get to looking at all these verses, it's all talking about when he comes with his thousands of saints that is spoken of originally by Enoch. But here it is, 20,000 chariots and thousands of angels. And the Lord is among them. The Lord is among them. What is this? What is symbolic, right? The angels aren't riding on chariots. Oh, come on. There ain't no real mountain or no city in the North Pole, Dave. I don't know. Like, did Moses lead them out of Egypt and part the Red Sea? Well, we all thought so. Or is it some symbolic description of something else? I don't know. But thou hast ascended on high, thou hast led captivity captive, thou hast received gifts from men, for the rebellious also, that the Lord might dwell among them. Blessed be the Lord, who daily loadeth us with benefits, even the deity of our salvation. He that is our deity of salvation. Now, let me show you something. Here's the earth. Now, most people think that King David was over here in Palestine, right? Somewhere right here. If we go straight north from here, or we could put it over here where I think it is, right? Over here in Egypt. Somewhere like that. Okay, and we can measure. We'll go north. We'll go to the north. Okay, here's Greenland. This is the North Pole, right? Somewhere up in here. We just keep going where we go to. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. The west coast of the United States. Seriously. Look at this. You go straight north from either Egypt or the Middle East or Palestine or whatever. You go straight north and you come to America. And what is over here? Oh, New Mexico, huh? Arizona. Wow. Just saying, guys. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. And I hope that you understood what I was talking about today. We're going to go deeper into this, by the way. I'm going to take you through some more verses at some point in the Psalms. And we're going to go to Micah, and we're going to go to Nahum, and we're going to go to all these different Zephaniah and different scriptures and Isaiah. And I think we're going to find out that what we've been told is wrong. Jesus survived death. He did not see corruption. He took Mary Magdalene and they went somewhere. Who knows whether they went on a flying dove with silver wings or chariots of the gods. But I believe they went somewhere. Now, remember that when Jesus left the earth, he went up into the sky and was taken out of sight in the clouds. And he said, or the angel said, in the same manner in which you saw him go, he shall return. So now I have said in the past that Jesus probably would come back to the earth by being born of a woman. But then that kind of doesn't make sense with that verse. You know, like, verily, verily, I say unto thee, in the manner in which he was taken up, he shall return in the same manner. You know, it's like, okay, that doesn't sound like he comes. And then you can add that with the verse that says that we do not know what we shall be like, but we know that when we see him, we shall be like him. So this indicates that we're going to have the change into that immortality before we see him. When we see him, we'll be like him. So evidently, he comes with these 20,000 chariots to pick us up. And then we're coming with him. I mean, there's a little bit of ambiguity there. I'm not quite sure how this all is unveiled, but it certainly is interesting, that verse we read with the silver dove and the 20,000 chariots. And this talk of being there a refuge. And so I think Jesus then probably comes back with Mary, and they're immortal. They've already had the wedding. The wedding that we're about to watch is the wedding between Adam and Eve, because that will be the restoration of all things. You know, when they came up out of Egypt, they had the 12 tribes, and there was 12,000 of each tribe in battalion military array, and they had banners. They had gotten the victory. Of course, it was all by divine miracle. The Pharaoh's armies, you know, drowned in the sea and all of this, but it's like the same kind of scenario. So it is symbolic then of this spiritual warfare, the sword out of our mouth, and we're going to be on the earth preaching the gospel and gaining victory. So there's a little bit there that we need to take a look at and kind of refine and define exactly what this symbology could mean. We'll take a look at that in an upcoming video, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow, guys. The Lord will bless you. Grace and his peace will be with you. Have a good one.